Hello. Happy Winning Wednesday. I was just waiting for the live to actually say it's live. Good morning. How's everyone doing? So a lot of things going on, a lot of energy in the cosmos, the universe. Let me take these off because you can see the glare in them. So what is very fun, actually, so what I was talking about in my Monday message is um, the card in tarot called Temperance, and I'm going to show you what the card actually looks like. So if you can see this here, sorry, it's got glare on it. So this is the card in tarot um, out of my deck. And it also came up in an email and on Facebook for me. So when things come up like this, when they come up multiple times, both in my awareness and when things come up in like my clients, they're coming up for my clients a lot. I pay attention because it's coming into my field multiple times because there is a message there and because more people are probably struggling with it. More people are they need to hear something. So that's why it comes into my field. So the Temperance card from my little book here, upright means the importance of balance, harmony, and moderation. It represents patience and sensibility, encouraging purposeful living and the search for deeper meaning. This card advocates for a balanced approach in all aspects of life. Now, if you know anything about tarot, upright is when, like it's face up like this. Sometimes these come up upside down. So if it's upside down, that's technically what you would call reverse. So reverse, temperance warns of imbalance and excess. It indicates tendencies towards overindulgence and extremes, including addiction. This card emphasizes the need for self-healing and realignment to restore harmony. So the reason why I thought this was such an important message to talk about, and I talk about balance a lot, like, this card in and of itself, like it's a very pretty card. Like it's got an angel on it. So this is card number 14 in the major arcana. But 14 reduces in numerology to 1 plus 4 reduces to 5, which is the number of change in freedom and integration through experience. So, it's not change that is like just going to come to you on a silver platter and just like appear in your lap, right? Like it's change that is, alchemized through you living it by you, taking inspired action and whatever. Like the figure on the card, it's almost always an angel, but, um, and, it has one foot on land over here and 1 foot in water over here. So the wings are present, but she's not in flight. Like this is significant. The angel is not ascending. It's not escaping to the spiritual. She's or he, I guess, depending on your interpretation, but like the angel is, and I guess angels aren't he or she really. But they're fully present in both worlds simultaneously. So this is, material world and mystical world, human world and divine, right? Like this is also a lot of the times it'll have like the sun in the background, so you can see the sun back here. It's usually depicted as like a crown or a halo above like a mountain path. And so the mountain path back here is like it has like a little trail. I don't know if you can see that close, but it has a trail that goes out through the mountain path, and that is the path. The path is going to the destination. Basically, like what I want you to know is about this. The angel's not running towards that destination. It's not rushing towards it. So it is standing at water's edge doing the quiet, patient work of alchemy. So that's like the whole message right here. So, what temperance really is about. And most people translate this temperance as moderation. And, then that's what it means, right? To them. Like they stop there. That's, kind of like surface reading, but like the divine teaching is, or sorry, the deeper teaching is divine alchemy. And so it's the art of taking two seemingly opposite things and blending them together in something that could not exist without having both. So I thought this was perfect because next month, at the end of the month, yes, I'm starting my facilitator program training mid-month, and then at the end of the month, I'm also starting my living 5D in the 3D world training. So, um, what this is, it's bringing that 5D consciousness, um, the way of being, the embodiment, the way of thinking, and putting it into applicable steps into the 3D world. Because yeah, we can't. Um, it's rough. Like we could absolutely be all the way over on the seesaw to like higher consciousness, divine, like monk living. We can meditate for 14 hours a day, and like nothing on the outside bothers us. Or we could be so stuck in the 3D world that it's like, the world's coming to an end. We're struggling. We're having to force and push and pull and all these things. Or what we can do is bring both elements together because, like we can't have one without the other. And the importance of this work is, like we're not always good. We're not always going to be right in the middle either. Like sometimes we tip over towards the more spiritual, conscious side. Um, Maybe even like spiritually bypassing things because it feels better, right? Like we don't want to sit in the muck. And sometimes we're going to swing over into the I freaking hate everything and I hate everyone and what is this life and why are things not happening for me and why am I here again, and then, bringing it back into the middle, into balance. And so that's why I thought, like, I was like, holy shit, this card is perfect. And Another card that keeps coming up for me is a couple times is Justice, which we'll talk about that another time. But like this is like fire and water, right? Like this is logic and intuition. This is doing and being. This is human and soul, and masculine and feminine, and wounding and the gifting behind it. Like it's Temperance does not ask you to choose a side. It wants you to become the vessel that holds both of them. And without either one, tipping more to one side than the other, overwhelming the other, right? So that's why it's one of the most sophisticated cards in the entire deck because it's not about doing less or doing more. It's more about, being more precise with your energy, where your energy is going, like knowing when to pour, how much to pour, when to simply let the cup rest. And so the two cups, what they really mean when we're talking about like as far as like balancing, the two cups being filled back and forth, like it's not a pretty image, right? Like it's to me like it's thinking about like, oh, I got to go over here and do that. Oh no, I got to do that. And it's like scattered energy, right? Like it's interference, static, and so it's representing here the circulation of energy between your inner world and your outer world, right? And when you're only pouring outward and giving and teaching and holding space and making things and producing and showing up for everyone else, like that cup empties and you start pouring from a depletion point without even realizing it. And this is where a lot of people get like the burnout and or the avoidance or the numbing out, right? But when you are only pouring, like conversely, you're only pouring inward, like retreating, integrating, like we were talking about spiritual bypassing, processing, healing, like the other cup is going to stagnate. So nothing moves, nothing is shared. So Temperance is saying the magic is in the movement between both of them. right? Like you're pouring a downward stream, and think of it like splitting into two and going into each cup. So it's a continuous flow. It's not hurried. It's intentional. And so you get to give and receive, expand, integrate, speak and listen, create and rest. So it's not, like it's not going to be perfect all the time. Like it's not always going to be a perfect equal measurement every day. And, but it gets to be, a conscious thing, a responsive balance over time. We know there's going to be times where, like, maybe somebody ends up in the hospital and you're just going to have to like go and support them a little bit more, be there for them a little bit more. So your flow may come over to the giving side a little bit more than it normally does. But that's okay. Like it's just that you consciously are aware of it and know when, to kind of pull back and try to split the balance between the two. So, you know, again, this card didn't show up by accident because for me personally, this is absolutely happening in my life right now. It was a message directly to me, which also means it's a message directly to y'all. So, what's going on with me right now is we're doing a lot of construction and things on the house. I know a few videos back, like I was doing the video as they were messing with my foundation. So like the house was like creaking and cracking and there was a lot of noise. Um, so the foundation, like we're fixing tiles in our floor, doing a lot of things to get it up on the market so that we can we're moving across country. So we're in the middle kind of uprooting in Texas and moving out to North Carolina. Um, I'm also picking up some extra shifts just to help with the financial part of that. Um, and, working with clients. I just came off a very powerful retreat called Awakening Aphrodite. There's two programs I'm launching in April. Like, I have a new client that specifically wants me for something that I'm not really well versed in doing, but I'm willing to do it with her because she's been with me for a very long time and we trust each other. And then, I'm integrating the breath work, the healing, shadow work, and receiving energy. Like I talked about this in the last video. I still have trouble receiving sometimes. And also integrating like sovereignty. And like all of these things are like being kicked up and they're in the works right now all at once for me. So that's a lot of cups being filled, simultaneously. So, temperance is not saying to me, slow down because you're doing it wrong. It's actually saying to slow the pour, slower, slow the pour between the cups because like it's important to integrate too, right? Like integration is the work right now. We're again, yes, we're in Fire Horse year, but we're also just came through a bunch of other things like the eclipse and all that. So, transformation has already happened. The alchemy is already in motion. The job here is not to force the next thing, it's to let what is already, shifted actually fully land in your body before you pour into the next one, into the next cup. So, when temperance is, blocked or ignored, it can tend to show up as like, chronic imbalances, like shifting from like feast or famine, which is, oh gosh, it's interesting that I say that because, like in some ways I feel like I'm overdoing, and then some ways I feel like I'm taking a lot of rest, and then um, when I'm picking up shifts too, like because I still have a foot in healthcare, right? When I pick up shifts, yes, they're on my terms, but it's always like, we'll have these big like feast or famine dips between like patients. Like when I'm where I pick up at is, like a hospital environment. And sometimes, like, we'll have doctors that order 20 exams at once, and then we'll have like this lull period of like 2 to 3 hours where we don't get one. So it's like we'll do that feast or famine kind of thing, and basically it's overdoing or collapsing in like home life. It can also show up as like impatience with the process. Like we have a timeline, we have a divine timing, yet somewhere our ego and our mind are saying, it should be faster. I should be here. Like you're wanting the result without the integration period. You want it like right now. Like I always think of like Amazon Prime. We're so conditioned to think that it should be here in 2 to 3 business days, right? And so, or not even business days with Amazon, 2 to 3 days. Like we have that expectation that, like I've done all this work. I should be doing this full time by now, and blah blah blah. Whatever the story is for you. So that comes down to another point, forcing divine timing. You're trying to make things happen on your schedule instead of trusting the calibration, trusting that it will be yours in the end. But the reason that we have divine timing is maybe because you're supposed to meet somebody at a certain time, or things are supposed to work in a certain way. And by you forcing and pushing and trying to make it happen on your own schedule, you may actually miss the person that you were supposed to meet, or the thing that was supposed to happen in order for it to happen in a way that it, like would propel you further up or faster. But like we have that expectation, we have that idea that it has to happen in a certain way at a certain time with a certain person or thing or whatever it is. And so we get this very big like tunnel vision on things. We can't explore the other possibilities or even see them because we're so focused on the way it should be and should happen and should come, right? And then another way this shows up is pouring from empty. So we talked about the cups, but you're giving so much that you literally have nothing left to receive with. And then we also talked about spiritual bypassing. So it's basically using the mystical to avoid avoid the practical, or using the practical to avoid the mystical. So do any of those feel familiar? Does any of those sound like you? Because this card is talking to you right now. So how temperance kind of integrates with the nervous system, and this is the connection that maybe a lot of tarot readers might miss, but this is the one that makes the card kind of very specific to me. The nervous system operates on exactly the same principle as temperance. We have our autonomic nervous system, has two primary states: sympathetic, which is your activation, your fight or flight, doing output, whatever. And then we have our parasympathetic, which is our rest and digest, receiving, integration. So to be healthful and in homeostasis, like in a whole being, right? Like we're not living, it's not to live in one state. We need both. Health is fluid. Like you need responsive movement between parasympathetic and sympathetic. We have to have our danger response to get out of danger. But we can't stay in danger response all the time. We need the rest and digest. Otherwise we, won't poop. Like we won't calm down. We won't have, restful sleep. We won't have time to integrate, right? So like we have to have the ability to activate when needed, and then return to rest when the threat has passed. So when the system gets stuck there, when you're chronically in sympathetic overdrive or maybe chronically collapse and shut down, you know, the cups, they can't flow anymore. The alchemy stops. So breath work is literally the practice of temperance. Every inhale activates. You have to have an exhale with the inhale, right? Like every exhale integrates. Every session teaches your nervous system to move fluidly between the two states to pour and receive without getting stuck in either. So you've been like technically I've been teaching temperance this whole time. You just like I just didn't have the word for it, right? Like this one is personal. And like this move has felt scary for me. I've had internal resistance. I'm like, is this the right thing to do? Like, is it the right time to go? Right? Like, part of me knows I am being pulled to North Carolina. Like, I know it in my heart of hearts. Like, I want to go. But part of me is, it's scary, right? We've never been outside of Texas. We lived in Texas our entire life. Both me and my husband. We've, you know, born and bred in like outskirts of Austin. So part of me is ready, and part of me is still integrating the actual decision that I am going. And it's not ambivalence, like, and it's not self-sabotage, but it's temperance. Like, I have one foot on land in the life that I've built, the familiar, the known. Like, I still have, my hospital job that I can pick up shifts when I want, like the safety of that. And I have the one foot in the water. And that's the life that is calling me, the unknown, the expansion, the next version, like my business, right? Like, and so the angel on this card is not leaping. She's he, she, he, they, they're not freezing. They're standing in both land and water, patiently trusting, pouring. Like, the move is not something to force or flee from for me, like it's something to alchemize, to let, both the excitement and the fear exist simultaneously. And it doesn't have to mean anything. I don't need to resolve the tension on either before I'm actually ready to go. So, like, for me, it's not being stuck. It's basically standing at the water's edge, doing the most advanced work there is, learning to hold two truths at once without collapsing into either one. So, um, temperance, again, it's personal. And if you want to make this into sort of a practice in how to work with this energy consciously, maybe before you pour into anyone's cup in the morning, like pause and ask, what does my cup need today before I do anything else? Like, just take a breath. What do I need today before I start giving? What do I need to receive? Or like when you have like the decision making moment, when you like feel the urge to like force or rush, ask yourself, like, am I pouring or am I flowing? Forcing has like this tight, urgent quality. Like, it has to be done now by this time, right? And then if you're flowing, it has kind of like this certain gentle quality, quiet. Like, feel the difference in your body. Like, you should be able to feel it. Like, I definitely feel like if I'm like, I should be doing this, and like I'll feel my shoulders kind of come up here and tighten up, like by feeling like, oh, I can just let them come to me, has like this, oh, exhale kind of quality to it. Another thing you could do is like before sleep, take like an emotional audit. Like, where did I give today and where did I receive? Where did I act from fear and where did I act from soul? Like, these scales, it should be pretty obvious to you, especially, hindsight is 2020. But like, if the scales are wildly tipped in one direction versus another, like, it's just information. Like, not judgment, just collect the data. Like, you're observing. So this is a great time to do the 4-7-8 breath. Like, 4 count in, that's your receiving breath. Hold for 7. This is like your integration. And then exhale for 8. And this is your offering. And repeat it. Repeat it. It's literally the nervous system practicing temperance in real time. So it showed up twice for me again, because, like, this is pretty much, I would say, one of the most alchemical periods in my life because, I'm uprooting a lot of things and, everything's kind of in the pot, right? Like the move, the programs, the clients, the working at the hospital, receiving, like, motherhood and marriage and, like, identity shifts even. And, like, it's not like a warning, but it's more like it's honoring, it's showing, yeah, you got a lot of stuff going on. Just make sure, like, you do have everything you need. Trust the blend, but just make sure it's receiving and giving, and trust that, this angel here knows exactly how much to pour, and you do too. So I just want you to know you're not behind, you're not doing it wrong. You're just in the middle of becoming something that requires the cups, however many cups you have. Like, it requires all the cups, both cups, and the wisdom to know when to pour from each one. So that's the work. That's the gift, and that's temperance. So I hope that resonates with you guys. I am curious to know, like, what in your life do you feel like you have? What cups are you pouring from? What cups do you have out there that's going on right now? I just want to know. Drop them in the comments. And we will be talking, of course, every Wednesday we have the open coaching call, but we will be talking a little bit more about the programs that are coming up. If those are of interest to you, if you are interested in becoming a breathwork facilitator, making it either into a career, going out and doing retreats, like, making health programs for, I don't know why my video's freezing, but maybe you're wanting to do like a wellness program for your place of employment or healthcare facilities or first responders or whatever it is. If you are interested in getting more information about the facilitator program, it starts mid-April. Just comment Soul Shift in the comments. And if you are interested in getting some information on the living 5D in the 3D world, which is called Everyday Quantum, just comment quantum in the comments below. But I hope that resonates for you guys. I so appreciate you for being here, and I appreciate you for being in my community. I hope you have an amazing week. Bye now. Love you all.